Next to the half bridge converter is the full bridge converter. Similar to the half bridge converter, the full bridge converter is an isolated DC to DC switch mode power supply. It also falls under the bidirectional core excitation category of switching voltage regulator. Let us understand the working principle of full bridge converter with the help of circuit diagram. So this is the main circuit diagram of the full bridge converter. It has transformer as an isolator which provides the isolation between input DC and output DC. Similar to push-pull and half-bridge regulator on the secondary side, the full bridge converter has two diodes D1 and D2 for the freewheeling action, inductor L for the energy storage purpose, capacitor C for the filtering action, and the secondary winding has the center tap. On the primary side, the full bridge converter has four controlled switch: MOSFET 1, MOSFET 2, MOSFET 3, and MOSFET 4. There is no center tapping on the primary side. Even unlike the half bridge converter, there is no need of biasing capacitors at the input side. DC to the full bridge converter can be produced with the help of uncontrolled rectifier from the available AC supply. The one cycle operation of the full bridge converter can be explained with the help of four intervals. The first interval, when M1 and M2, both these MOSFETs are turned on simultaneously. In the second interval, all the MOSFETs are kept off. In the third mode, only M3 and M4 are triggered. And in the mode 4, all the MOSFETs are kept off. So during the first interval, this transformer core gets energized with the positive polarity. When the all switches are kept off during the second interval, the transformer is demagnetized from the positive polarity. In the third interval, when M3 and M4 are turned on, at that time, the same transformer is magnetized with the reverse polarity, and after turning off M3 and M4 in the interval 4, when all switches are off, at that time the transformer is demagnetized from the opposite polarity. So this is how, by controlling all the MOSFETs in a particular manner, we can have the bidirectional excitation of the transformer core. The parameters like voltage across primary winding, open circuit voltage across MOSFET 1, MOSFET 2, open circuit voltage across MOSFET 3 and MOSFET 4, as well as current through the inductor, these waveforms are shown. Now let us understand what happens when the MOSFET 1 and MOSFET 2 are triggered at instant t is equal to 0. So this is the equivalent circuit diagram of mode 1 when gate pulses are given to the MOSFET 1 and MOSFET 2 at the instant t is equal to 0. So here you can see that primary winding of the transformer gets connected to the supply. The dot end terminal of the primary winding is connected to the positive terminal of the supply through this MOSFET 1. The other terminal of the primary winding gets connected to the negative terminal of the supply through MOSFET 2. So the voltage appear across the primary winding during the first interval is equal to the supply voltage. Using the transformer turns ratio and the voltage relationship, we can find out the voltage on the secondary winding. So V2 is equal to N2 divided by N1 into supply voltage. During the first interval, the open circuit voltage across MOSFET 1 and MOSFET 2 is 0. The reason MOSFET 1 and MOSFET 2 are conducting in this interval, so they behave as short circuit element. Whereas MOSFET 3 and MOSFET 4, they are kept off because there is no gate pulse given to the gate terminals of M3 and M4. So if we see that the lower terminal of M3 is connected to the negative terminal of the supply via this MOSFET 2, and upper terminal of MOSFET 3 is connected to the positive terminal of the supply. So the voltage appear across MOSFET 3 is equal to supply voltage. For MOSFET 4, the upper terminal of the MOSFET 4 is connected to the dot-end terminal of the primary winding, and other terminal of the MOSFET 4 is connected to the negative terminal of the primary winding through this MOSFET 2. So the MOSFET 4 appears across the primary winding, and during the first interval we know that voltage across primary winding is same as the supply voltage. So open circuit voltage across MOSFET 4 during the first interval is also supply voltage. These polarities of the primary side get reflected on the secondary side, and due to that diode D1 comes into the conduction and current begins to flow from the upper secondary winding. It passes through the diode D1, it flows through the inductor, it passes through the load, and this is how the closed loop path is formed on the secondary side. So during the first interval, the supply transfers energy to the load through this transformer, diode D1 and inductor L. In the same interval, the inductor L keeps storing the energy coming from the supply. So the current through the inductor gradually increases from minimum value towards the maximum value. When the MOSFET 1 and MOSFET 2 are turned off, the mode 2 operation of the full bridge converter begins. So in the equivalent circuit diagram, you can see that because all the MOSFETs are in the off state condition, there is no current flow through the primary winding. But we know that whenever the switching action takes place, the polarities across the inductive element get reversed. So the right hand side terminal has become positive and the left side terminal has become negative. And during the second interval, this inductor starts releasing its energy into the load via this freewheeling diode D1 and D2. So the current begins from this positive terminal of the inductor, it flows through the load, it reaches at the center point of this secondary winding. The current gets divided into two parts. The first part would flow through the upper secondary winding and diode D1. The second part of the current would flow through the lower secondary winding and through diode D2. Both the current will meet at this junction, and finally the closed loop path will be over. So during the second interval, we can say that the demagnetization of the transformer from the positive polarity. So here we can see that the current through the inductor gradually decreases from the maximum value towards the minimum value when all the switches are in the off state condition. Now let us understand the mode 3 operation of the full bridge converter. When the gate pulse to the MOSFET 3 and MOSFET 4 is applied, the mode 3 operation of the full bridge converter begins. By looking at the equivalent circuit diagram, you may observe that the dot end terminal of the primary winding gets connected to the negative terminal of the supply through this MOSFET 4. And the other terminal of the primary winding gets connected to the positive terminal of the supply via M3. Which means that now the transformer gets reversed supply voltage. So voltage appear across the primary winding is equal to minus Vs. And similar to the mode 1, we can find out the voltage on the secondary winding by using the transformer turns ratio and the voltage ratio relationship. So the voltage on the secondary winding is equal to N2 divided by N1 into minus Vs. So during this interval, the supply transfers its energy into the load through this transformer and the lower secondary winding. These polarities get reflected on the secondary windings. Because of that, this positive polarity makes this diode D2 in the forward bias condition, and current begins to flow through this diode D2. It flows through the inductor L, it passes through the load, and it goes back to the lower secondary winding. So this is how the closed loop path is formed on the primary side as well as on the secondary side. So during the third interval, the voltage across primary winding is equal to minus supply voltage because magnetization of the transformer with the opposite polarity. During the same interval, the open circuit voltage across MOSFET 1 and MOSFET 2 is equal to same as the supply voltage. Here you can see that the lower terminal of the MOSFET 1 is connected to the negative terminal of the supply through this MOSFET 4, and the upper terminal of the MOSFET 1 is connected to the supply, positive terminal of the supply. So the voltage appears across the MOSFET 1 is equal to the supply voltage. And for the MOSFET 2, the upper terminal of the MOSFET 2 is connected to the lower terminal of the primary winding, and the lower terminal of the MOSFET 2 is connected to the dot end terminal of the primary winding. So we know that voltage appears across the primary winding during mode 3 is equal to the supply voltage. So the open circuit voltage across MOSFET 2 during the third interval is same as the supply voltage. For MOSFET 3 and MOSFET 4, both switches are in the on state condition. So there is no voltage drop takes place across the MOSFET 3 and MOSFET 4. And during this interval, the inductor again starts storing the energy coming from the supply. So the current through the inductor gradually increases from the minimum value towards the maximum value. At this instant, when the gate pulses from the MOSFET 3 and MOSFET 4 are removed, the mode 4 operation begins. So during the mode 4 operation, the polarity across this inductive element get reversed. The right hand side terminal has become positive and the left side terminal has become negative. On the primary side, there will not be any flow of the current because all switches are in the off state condition. So in this interval, the operation is exactly similar to the mode 2 operation. The inductor would transfer its energy into the load via this diode D1 and D2. So we can see that current flow through the inductor gradually decreases from maximum value towards the minimum value. And mode 4 represents the demagnetization of the transformer from the opposite polarity. So these are the 4 mode operation of the full bridge converter. Now let us have a glance at the applications, advantages and the disadvantages of the full bridge converter. The applications of the full bridge converter include: whenever the power requirement is above 750 watt, full bridge converter is preferable. Advantages of the full bridge converter: due to 2-quadrant operation, the utilization of the transformer core is full. For the same power handling capability, the size of the transformer core reduces compared to the unidirectional core excitation converters. Very compact design of the transformer and the filter. Very low ripples in the output voltage. Unlike the forward converter, there is no need of reset winding in the full bridge converter for releasing the trapped energy. Even no need of center tapping on the primary side. Current stress on the switches is less. From the waveform you might have observed that the maximum voltage appear across the MOSFET when it is in the offset condition is equal to the supply voltage. Disadvantages: number of switches is more. So compared to push-pull and the half-bridge converter, the full-bridge converter has two more switches. Good coupling between the two halves of the winding, which stops the core to go in saturation region due to the flux imbalance. I've explained this point earlier that the proper center tapping has to be done on the secondary winding to avoid the shifting of the BH curve more towards into the first quadrant or in the third quadrant